welcome back to episode 14 of Strix's Point of View on the Content Engineers server. Uh, I'm working today on getting the Incursion Station up and operational. Uh, I don't think I'll be getting it completely finished, but I want to make sure that it's got its storage and uh, manufacturing, refining online, going with 8 Mark V refineries and 8 Mark V assemblers. I've already got my basic shape for this floor laid out. Uh, though there is going to be a conveyor going up to the next floor. The connector isn't a permanent structure, that's just for while I'm here working in my crime scene bubble. The bubble is, just like all of my other stations, a temporary measure. Once I have guns online to protect it, have actually built the proper bottom shell with guns, that's when I'll get rid of the bubble itself. Though that will likely get moved around a lot. And most of the stuff in the center here is going to be moved around. I didn't think very well on the placement of these batteries. It's going to suck losing 1,280 power cells to get rid of those. But I've already got at least one Mark V's worth of battery cells there, thanks to the fact that I'm using the PCD as a reactor. That being said, I have the Apollodorus here, which is currently running on uranium with 17 years. It only says 16 right now, but it'll level back out. 17 years of power. The music is thanks to the fact that I put myself a jukebox over here on my Apollodorus right next to my cryopod. Decided I wanted to have some music in the background. And everybody decided on arcade sounds instead of realistic sounds for the server, so this works fine. If you're on realistic sounds, it'll only work when you're standing on the grid that the jukebox is on, is the only time you'll hear it, or if you're in a pressurized chamber. Anyway, I think I have most of what I need, and the rest is being made. I definitely have all of the ingots I need because I emptied out Memorial Station and brought everything over here. Which does mean the Apollodorus has a lot of mining to do back at the main station. But anyway, let's go ahead and kick these on. BNRs on. I definitely have enough to weld up all of the conveyors that are running through the middle sections, and of course all of the steel plates that I've laid down. The only thing I might not have completely ready is the primary components for the refineries and assemblers. Those are quite a bit more expensive. But if I get those online, everything's already set to be chained together and all on the same conveyor network. I'm planning on this floor being very not used. Like, we shouldn't have to come down to this floor at all unless there's damage to be repaired, which is why I'm still leaving it as a fully accessible floor. I am going to have, once all of these are taken out, this is going to be more cargo containers. This is probably going to be cargo containers and O2H2 generators. All of my conveyor lines come out to the end right here. I'm not sure at this point if I want to put landing pads and guns at the end, or just gun emplacements. I will figure that out when I get there. Right now I'm just trying to get everything online and start building the shell itself for this floor. Uh, Overall, I think this station is going to be running off of a combination of the PCD and solar power. Probably primarily solar power, honestly. I'm going to use the fact that it's just hanging out in space and put solar panels off of anywhere where we're not going to be flying in. Anyway, I am rambling on quite a bit. This is taking a while to build. I will bring it back when I'm ready to do the next sections, which is cleaning up all of this in the middle and putting down the actual cargo containers that'll be there. And then, of course, building out the shell here. I think the shape that I have is going to be an interesting place to start from. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pause this up, and I'll bring it back as soon as this is done. Looks like it's probably going to take somewhere around an hour. Okay, so I wound up going back to Memorial Station and filling up my large cargo containers with a bunch of parts from there because it was taking too long to build parts here with the meager infrastructure that I did have, which is just this stuff in the center. But it's all put together now. I decided to go ahead and keep this slope going into the edge there. Again, just playing with the shape here for the lower floor. But let's see. Now I kind of want to take all of this stuff offline. So let's put all of these in the cargo container and start with this. I had already grabbed a few parts to be able to build things with, but I forgot I have a lot of things to delete before I can do that. So once I get these cut down, I'm going to be setting everything up over on these angles instead. I think I'm going to do 4 of the PCD reactors. Should be a very nice backup overall for this setup. I'm going to leave the batteries for just now. Go back to cargo. I can't put that away that way now. Silly me. Let's just drop that in there. And before I take the assembler offline, let's go ahead and make sure I've got everything out of that. There we go.
Inventory full.
So I just gotta get all this cut down to be able to then put in the actual infrastructure for down here. I don't know why I had made that cargo container gold, but likely the cargo containers and the machines will be some hue of purple when I get this completed. You get a pass for right now, because for the time being I still need that. And I guess technically I don't really need these anymore, because I'm actually using the ones off of the ship instead. The Apollodorus is handling all of our building needs. Okay, so a couple hundred of those, couple hundred of those. That leaves me plenty of space for carving things off. Actually, these are going to have to go. I think I want to move my batteries right over up against my refineries. That'll give me 4 Mark V batteries. I think that'll be pretty effective. Yeah, I'll use that one. That's fine. And let's put that side inward. I can, of course, go ahead and add a couple more, or add 4 more up on top of those. I'll think about that on whether or not I want that. But let's see. I can't really take these out right now. So I guess I'm just leaving those while I look for my... Oh, those are regular cargo containers. I need Mark V cargo containers. Thank you very much. And yeah, let's just go with the large. And let's see if I have them setting right here. Then that means I'm going to need something to hold that on for right now, because underneath it needs to change. Right there, I think, is where it'll be sitting. Let me just double check that. No, it needs to go one more over. And this is why you double check. And I like my redundant connections. So we can just go ahead and put in, make sure they stay in the nice gold that I like for those. Yeah, a T connection there and there. And these all use the same blocks to put, or components to put down, whether it's the straight, the T, the X, any of those. I really like this mod for that reason. But let's see. Straight, 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 straight. And then here, I need to connect to both of those. So I'll just use a regular junction. All right, and then I can mirror that over here on this side. Again, just put that down there to hold that for a moment. All right, so that didn't need to be a T, that needed to be an X, but that's okay. Again, they all use the same parts. Overall, that means that this one here should also be an X, but I'll worry about that when I get to it. But that lets me know that this one should be an X as well. Like having tier 3 tools when having to get in here and do all of this hand building and grinding. Okay, so straight into a junction. You just hold on to there. And let's see. That's an X.
Energy low.
I've got enough to be able to do what I'm doing here. But thank you for the warning. All right. And go back here to my straights and a junction. And of course, the same thing will be happening over here whenever I move that, which actually I'm probably not going to move it. I'm just going to get rid of it when I've got everything else online. It looks like my other 4 batteries are online. That's nice. So let's just grab these and set those all to recharge. I want them to bleed out these 2. Don't need that anymore. Okay, so I can get 4 of my cargo containers in. And now I see why that wound up being gold, because I was doing conveyors and then it. That makes sense. Nope. I missed. Don't build that one. There we go. Got to be careful with the build and repair. When it's just on like this, it will build whatever it feels like needs to be built. All right. How are these batteries doing? Those batteries are still perfectly fine. I might set them to discharge. Yeah, let's set the other ones to auto and set those to discharge. I think that'll work better for what I'm trying to do, which is bleed those out so that I can get rid of them.
Energy critical.
And yeah, I should sit in my seat for a moment. Yeah, that's looking pretty nice. Of course, that's just the floor itself. I still need to go up and down with this. And I need to figure out how I'm going to armor and arm the bottom of this. I've seen quite a few enemies coming between me and the alien planet, which does mean they're flying in atmosphere, but that also means that they can attack me from below. I also want to defend the sides and the top. And this bubble does not fully encompass how tall it's going to be, because it's centered on that instead of being moved around. If you're doing the cube instead of the sphere, you can move that around. But let's see. I guess I can put this all the way and grab a bunch of steel plate and start working on building up my walls so I can figure out other places where I can stash things. I don't need 4 here, because honestly 3 is the height of this. 1, 2, 3, and that's the tallest thing here are my large cargo containers. So just having 3 high walls and then working on the ceiling beyond that should be fine. Back to 4. And doing things like this without having any kind of block inside here is going to leave a weld seam that looks quite ugly on the outside here. So I just have to figure out whether I'm going to be having smooth walls inside or going full blocks. Either way, though, it solves the problem with the weld lines. But for now, I'm just trying to get the outer wall up. And then I'll have the large PCD reactors sitting right next to the large cargo containers over here on either side. I think that leaves room for another large cargo container or so in here too. Yeah, let me turn on my light over here. That's the ugly weld lines I'm talking about, and can be very easily solved simply by having either slopes or full blocks on the inside. Once those are welded up, the weld seam disappears. And it doesn't matter which route you go for. That all depends what you want the inside to look like. Let me throw some of these away. I think I'm gonna go with just full blocks actually. And unlike so many of my builds of late, I'm not gonna do a dual layer on this particular building. I am going to have additional armor covering the bottom. I don't think anything is going to be dumb enough to attack the sides. Most of the guns will be able to attack the side locations. I think most of my actual problems will come from the bottom and the top. And I didn't do that over here on this one, so just get that in. See how this wall looks. That went right through, didn't it? Yep. This is why it works better to look straight at what you're building from, so that you're not accidentally building through an unwelded block. Yeah, that'll look all right. And then up top here is a simple one to do. On this portion of wall, it's completely different on the other wall because that's using a different slope. That first one I put coming back this way of the inverted block was probably incorrect. Uh, Maybe not. No, it's not incorrect. That is going to be the correct slope for the wall over here. Well, that's not a good wall to look at, but there we go. And I'll go ahead and cut here and do that all the way around. Hopefully these are actually discharging. What's going on here? Fully depleted in 53 days. Oh, how about if I set these batteries to recharge? Now how long will it take you to discharge? 13 minutes. All right, so in 13 minutes I'll be able to get rid of those batteries anyway. Oh, the game got very upset at me. But yeah, I'll bring this back once I've got this bit of shell completed. All right, so I have this shell done and a nice little bit of redundant control for my conveyors here. You make it down this hole because there's one more thing I want to get set up. Let's see, which I'm not going to be able to figure out which ones are the original. I don't think. Because all of my numbers were messed up. Because I had already set down a couple of these. But anyway, what do I have for superconductors? 800 in there. 2400 in there. For a total of 3200. So that means I can get one of these modules done with what I currently have. These are the Mark V effectiveness modules, which are essentially Mark V yield modules. And I want to just go ahead and get these placed on here because I don't think I have enough components and materials to get everything completed that I need. So the more important place to start is obviously going to be my refineries so I can get more ore fast or more ingots faster out of my ore. It's trying to weld all these up, but the building repairs on the ship don't have anything anymore. I moved it all onto the Incursion Station here because other than getting modules on everything, this is complete. Like, it's all put together. I've got my 4 PCD or large PCD reactors set up over here. Lots of dead space I can use on either of these ends for control mechanisms. And I think I'm going to have space between this and the next floor, which is going to be a spawn chamber and hangar space. And then the top floor is going to be control center. So what I'm going to do in between episodes, because I'm pretty much wrapping up here, is I'm going to build a pillar up a small ways and then do the hangars and respawn space there, along with a manual use regular assembler, because the Mark II and up assemblers don't have access to tools or bottles. So always going to have at least one regular assembler on a base for getting all of those things done. Man, this shell does look pretty nice. Uh, I mocked up some of the heavy armor I'm going to be doing down here on the bottom, but that's why I know I don't have the materials to do what I'm trying to do. And why are those gold? That should be white. Just fix those right quick. There we go. But yeah, I'm going to do a couple layers thick of heavy armor between the bottom here and everything that's inside. There's going to be some guns on these 4 conveyors, these 4, and these 2 outer conveyors. That's also going to be connecting back over here because, again, I really like redundancy. And that center is going to wind up being my column going up. I'll be lining the bottom with lots of guns to protect it. As soon as those start coming online, I'm going to get rid of this bubble and put in my last cargo container down here. Right over in this location. It's already got itself tied in on the roof. Didn't want to mess up how the block is sitting, so I didn't try doing anything on the bottom. Those blocks are really weird with how they sit, and I got stuck under a reactor. But yeah, there we go. We've got the manufacturing of the incursion base is online, meaning it should now be able to build itself. That being said, I didn't put any building repairs back on here. Maybe I'll stuff those in the middle of the column that I'm building going up. In any case, if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit the like button down below. And if you want to see what I'm getting up to next time, there's always that subscribe button. So until next time, have a good one.